All right, here we go. Aswand Cruickshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking in for a daily Move Swiftly thought, giving you a perspective on teamwork that you will not get anywhere else. Just this morning, I tuned in. I listened to it's a video out there of when Kevin Plank, the founder of Under Armour, addressed the Jackson State University football team. Just this morning, I listened to the entire 30 minutes of it. If you are in some way, shape, form, or fashion involved with sports, involved with business, involved with football, anything, listen, I highly, highly recommend you go and tune into that in its entirety. It is incredible viewing for business-minded, sports-minded folks, people that are looking to build their organizations, all sorts of things. Like, I don't even have the ability to give all the gems I took in, and just so you guys know, by the way, I do take in, I know I put out a lot of videos, but believe it or not, I take in a whole lot more than I actually put out. So anyway, it got me thinking about Coach Primetime and the impact, and how I would argue to say that his post-playing career has been better than his actual playing career, all right? And what I mean when I say his post-playing career is better than his actual playing career, I mean the actual effect that he's had on people, the actual thing when you say prime time. And here's what I mean by that. I'm going to give you two stories of how you as a player can create a worldwide effect. It's like taking a massive rock, throwing it into an ocean, and creating a worldwide effect. You can be the rock. I've told you this on many occasions. You can be that rock while you're playing, but you gotta lock in. Here's what I mean when I say effect, all right? Story number one, it was when I was working at 9 Rum in Plantation, and I had two clients, a husband and a wife, Philip and Allie Bennett, who, by the way, at the moment, I believe they're still doing this. Most likely they're still doing this, but they teach SAT prep courses to young high school students and things like that. Hope you guys are doing well. But I have to tell this story because I remember I was talking to Phil when Coach Primetime first took the job at Jackson State, and we started to see that trend. He started to see that trend of 5-star recruits leaving the bigger schools and going to Jackson State and stuff like that. And I remember he and I were having a conversation because Phil actually used to coach under Mickey, if I'm not mistaken, it was under Mickey Andrews as a defensive analyst when he was at Florida State. So he actually coached at Florida State, and he understands the stigma and the effect that primetime has on people, right? And what it's all about, because that's where primetime graduated. And he and I were talking, and we were talking about how young recruits don't understand. They don't realize who they're actually talking to. I remember him saying that. I don't think they realize who they're actually talking to when it comes to Coach Prime. And that's what I mean when it comes to the effect. So let me just, as a follow-up story, I have to tell you that because I remember when he told me, I thought of this when I played. I played at Stony Brook University, and I remember that last semester I was there, this is when I read his book, his biography, at least the first biography he put out there. I'm sure he's got enough material for another one, right? So the title of his book is Money, Power, Sex. And he talked about how at one point he did try to commit suicide, and he was in a very, very low place. And he actually repeated that on the podcast, the I Am Athlete podcast. I remember him saying that. Anyway, I had a teammate, his name is Al Majid Hutchins, and Al came from Rutgers, and I think the fact that he came from Rutgers is the reason they put him in the starting role right away. He started right away when he got to Stony Brook. And I remember he had a poster. He had a poster of primetime Deion Sanders when it was in the back of his locker. He had a poster on the back of his locker when primetime was playing, like his iconic photo when he was playing for the Cowboys. He had a poster of his. And again, this is what I mean when I say effect. You're talking about Rutgers guy, up north guy, and just be in a corner and just inspired him and things like that. So I tell you all that. I say all that to say this. There's a lot of talk about him taking a job somewhere else, taking the Colorado job, all that kind of stuff. And what I want my audience, or what I want you guys to understand, is not necessarily about the job. It's all about the person. It's all about the exposure and what this person is all about, all the work that you did leading up to these offers. So focus on the work, and the offers start to come. Things start to happen. You start to change culture. You start to have that effect, but you got to put in the work. You got to put in the work, and you got to make it so you are. I remember, dude, I watch, if you can't tell, I watch a lot of primetime. I remember his Hall of Fame speech. he said we have to provoke change. You can go and you can test me. Go check out Primetime Deion Sanders' Hall of Fame speech when he was in Canton. He said we've got to provoke change. We have to provoke change. We have to make things better for the next generation. All right. If you want to dive deeper into all this stuff, I talk about all this stuff if you're listening to this on the Move Swiftly podcast, be sure to subscribe to that as soon as possible. It comes out 5 days a week. And makeyourmove.com. That's MakeYourmove.com. Everything is on there. It's a one-stop shop. Go and support the brand. We have all this. I touch on all this stuff and everything I do. I'm knee deep in this shit. If you can't tell, I am knee deep into this world, man. Ain't no going out. You're talking to someone that grew up 7 all the way to 22, been playing this game, been a part of this game for a very, very long time, been seeing a whole lot of things. All right. Aswand Cruickshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking out. You guys continue to move swiftly. We will talk more soon.